Stop being soft to everyone. Listen to me. You weren't born to be walked on. There was a fire in your soul the moment you entered this world, but somewhere along the way, life, pain, rejection, and fear convinced you to dim that flame. You started saying yes when you wanted to scream no. You apologized for existing. You became the person everyone depended on, but no one respected. And why? Because you've been taught that being nice is the same as being valuable. It's not. People respect boundaries, strength, and conviction, not weakness masked as kindness. This world doesn't reward softness. It feeds on it. You think you're being kind, but all you're doing is bleeding slowly, letting others take and take while you shrink into nothing. You matter. Your energy matters. Your limits matter. Stop being the one who always forgives, always gives second chances, always bends over backwards. You're not a doormat. You're a warrior who forgot his armor. It's time to stop being soft to people who wouldn't think twice about being hard on you. Choose power, choose self-worth. Choose you. Too often we're led to believe that sacrificing ourselves for others is the highest form of love, the ultimate virtue. We're told to give and give our time, our energy, our loyalty, until there's nothing left. We're taught that selflessness is a strength, but in reality, unchecked sacrifice becomes weakness. It becomes the very thing that drains us, breaks us, and makes us invisible in the eyes of others. People don't value what they can use for free. They don't respect what's always available, always bending, always giving in. They respect what has boundaries, what stands tall even when it's inconvenient, what says no when everyone else expects a yes. Respect doesn't come from how much you bleed for others. It comes from how much you refuse to let yourself be drained. Think about it. When was the last time someone truly admired a person who always gave in, who never stood their ground, who let everyone else dictate their value? You might think they're loved, but they're not respected. There's a difference between being liked and being valued. Being liked means you're agreeable. Being valued means you're irreplaceable. And no one sees you as irreplaceable when all you do is sacrifice your own needs just to keep others comfortable. People watch how you treat yourself. If you never defend yourself, if you allow mistreatment, if you constantly put others before your own dignity, they'll assume that's your standard. They'll take you for granted. Not because they're evil, but because you've shown them that your energy is cheap, that your time isn't precious, that your kindness has no price. But when you carry yourself with strength, when you protect your boundaries, when you walk away from disrespect, people notice. They might not like it at first, especially if they benefited from your softness, but they will respect it. In fact, the people who push back the hardest against your strength are usually the ones who've grown most comfortable with your weakness. Strength isn't arrogance. It's not cruelty. It's self-respect. It's the courage to say, I am not here to please you. I'm not here to make your life easier at the cost of my own. It's the bold decision to live on your terms, even if it means disappointing people who only love the version of you that serve them. And let's be honest, sacrifice is often a mask we wear because we're afraid to be rejected, to be alone, to be called selfish. So we overextend, we overgive, and we silently resent the world for not seeing us. But here's the truth. The world can't see what you keep hiding. If you keep hiding your power behind endless sacrifice, don't be surprised when no one respects you. Respect is built when you refuse to abandon yourself, when you stop shrinking just to fit in, when you finally say, enough, I am not less just to make others feel more. And no, it's not always easy. People will call you cold, stubborn, even heartless. But remember, those are just the echoes of people who benefited from your silence. You don't owe them your peace. You owe yourself the life you were meant to live, not the life you were manipulated into living. You see, people are drawn to strength because it inspires them, it challenges them, it forces them to rise or get left behind. Your strength becomes a mirror. They see what they lack, and instead of respecting you less, they start respecting themselves more. That's the irony. When you stop sacrificing yourself, you actually empower others to stop sacrificing too. You stop enabling weakness and you start raising standards. So don't apologize for choosing strength over sacrifice. Don't feel guilty for walking away from people who only loved your weakness. Let them go. Let them be uncomfortable. Because the right people, the ones who are capable of real connection, real respect, they will never ask you to shrink. They will never ask for your silence in exchange for their comfort. They will meet you at your level, or they won't meet you at all. Kindness is a beautiful thing. It's what connects us, heals us, and reminds us of our shared humanity. But kindness without boundaries, that's something entirely different. That's not compassion. That's not strength. That's a trap. Because the moment your kindness becomes unconditional to everyone, regardless of how they treat you, you become a magnet for exploitation. You stop being a good person and start being an easy target. Let's be honest. People can be selfish. They can take advantage of your good heart if you let them. And not all of them will feel guilty about it. Some people look at kindness not as a gift, but as an opportunity. The more you give without limits, the more they believe it's your job to give. They stop seeing it as generosity and start seeing it as weakness. That's the danger of kindness without boundaries. It trains people to expect more than they deserve and give less than they should. You think you're being generous, but what you're actually doing is teaching people that your needs don't matter. That you'll always say yes even when it hurts. That you'll always forgive even when they don't change. That you'll always be there even when they leave you hanging. And over time, your kindness becomes less about love and more about fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being alone. But here's the truth. Real kindness starts with self-respect. If you can't say no, your yes means nothing. If you let people drain you because you're afraid of upsetting them, you're not being kind. You're being complicit in your own mistreatment. You are not a better person just because you suffer silently. You are not more valuable because you let others walk over you. Your worth is not tied to how much pain you can tolerate for the sake of others. The people who truly love you, who truly value you, they won't be angry when you set boundaries. They won't punish you for saying no. They won't guilt trip you when you choose to protect your peace. Only those who are benefiting from your lack of boundaries will be bothered by the fact that you're finally waking up. And when that happens, when you start saying, I'm done being used, I won't keep tolerating this, or my energy isn't free, watch how quickly the fake support disappears. Let it. That's not loss. That's freedom. You owe no one your constant availability. You don't have to explain yourself every time you choose yourself. You don't have to feel guilty for choosing your own mental and emotional health. That is not selfishness. That is survival. That is growth. And the more you honor your boundaries, the more you start to attract people who respect them too. Because strong people recognize strong energy. People who have done the inner work won't flinch when you say no. They won't disappear when you demand respect. They'll meet you where you are because they understand what it took to get there. Kindness is powerful when it's rooted in strength. But when it's based on fear and the need for validation, it becomes a dangerous form of self-erasure. The world doesn't need more people who sacrifice their souls just to be liked. It needs people who are kind and fierce, compassionate and clear, loving and unapologetically honest. It needs people who can say, I care about you, but I won't allow you to hurt me. I wish you well, but I won't betray myself to keep you happy. And if someone walks away because you stopped letting them take advantage of you, let them go. That's not your loss. That's your gain. That's one less person draining your energy, one less person mistaking your heart for a doormat. You are not here to save everyone. You are not responsible for anyone else's comfort at the expense of your own discomfort. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. When your kindness has limits, it becomes sacred. It becomes something people earn, not something they expect. It becomes a reflection of your strength, not your weakness. And in a world that constantly demands more than it gives back, that kind of kindness is rare and powerful. So don't stop being kind. Just stop being kind to everyone who hasn't earned it, and never, ever apologize for protecting your peace. There comes a moment in life when you have to decide who you're really living for, yourself or the world around you. Too many people wake up every day chasing approval, addicted to validation, desperate to be liked, noticed, or accepted. They measure their worth by how many compliments they receive, how many followers they have, how many people clap when they speak or smile when they enter a room. But here's the harsh truth. Approval is fragile, temporary, and never guaranteed. It shifts like the wind. And if your self-worth is tied to it, you'll spend your entire life chasing something you'll never truly catch. Self-worth doesn't scream, it doesn't beg, it doesn't need applause. Self-worth is quiet, calm, and powerful. It doesn't ask, do they like me? It says, I like me. And that's enough. When you understand your value, stop negotiating with people who only see you through the lens of what you can do for them. You stop performing, you stop bending and shrinking yourself just to fit into someone else's version of acceptable. You stop needing to be chosen because you already chose yourself. Too often, we hand people the pen and let them write our story. We let their opinions define us. We let their attention determine whether we feel lovable, capable, or important. But that's not empowerment. That's slavery. You weren't born to seek permission to feel enough. You weren't put on this earth to play a role in someone else's movie. Your worth doesn't depend on how many people clap for you. It depends on how loudly you believe in yourself when no one else is watching. The problem with chasing approval is that it keeps you on a leash. You start saying things you don't believe, doing things that don't align with your values, and tolerating situations that drain your soul. All because you're afraid of being disliked or misunderstood. But ask yourself, what's the price of being liked by everyone if you don't even like yourself? What's the cost of fitting in when it means abandoning who you truly are? You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to agree with you. Not everyone will get your journey, and they don't have to. This is your life, your voice, your path, your truth. The sooner you realize that not everyone is meant to walk beside you, the more peace you'll find. Some people are meant to be lessons, not lifelong companions. And the faster you stop seeking their approval, the faster you'll start living the life that's actually meant for you. Living for approval is exhausting because it's never enough. Today they love you, tomorrow they forget you. One mistake and the people who once praised you will turn on you without hesitation. But when your worth comes from within, when it's not tied to performance or perception, no one can take it from you. You become unshakable. You become free. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about no longer needing external validation to feel alive. It's waking up in the morning and not needing anyone to remind you that you matter. It's trusting yourself enough to make bold choices even if no one claps. It's knowing that your value is not something to be earned. It's something that already exists inside you, waiting to be claimed. So stop seeking approval. Stop asking for permission to shine. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you're good enough. You already are. Live like it. Speak like it. Walk into rooms like you belong there because you do. The people who truly see you, the ones who are aligned with your soul, will never ask you to dim your light. They won't need you to pretend or perform. They'll respect your confidence, not because it makes them feel comfortable, because it reminds them that they can be confident too. Let your life be proof that self-worth is louder than approval, that loving yourself isn't arrogance, it's survival, and that when you finally stop chasing people, attention, and applause, you make room for the one thing that truly matters, peace. Not the kind that depends on circumstances or opinions, but the kind that lives inside you, unshakable and untouchable. That's the kind of peace that only self-worth can bring. So claim it, live it, and never again let someone else's voice speak louder than your own. In the end, it all comes down to one question. Are you living for them or are you living for you? Because no amount of likes, praise, or applause will ever fill the